My first time at St. Peter's, I cannot even recall. I was so young that I was still in a bassinet. My parents would bring me along while my siblings helped around at the altar as acolytes. Even as I became more conscious, I still didn't fully understand exactly what faith meant to me. Through my experiences and growth at St. Peter's, I like to think that I have found my personal faith. When I was a kid, my faith was mostly formed by St. Peter's community. Some of my earliest memories of feeling faith were the activities that the church offered. I found friends through Easter egg hunts. I felt love when making candles for the advent calendars that I would later gift as gifts to my parents. And I felt the presence of the whole community every time I would step up onto the altar for children's sermon. Through my through Mother Paige's teachings, I began to understand the Bible's morals. I definitely was constantly keeping my parents on their toes as a kid, but I always tried to remember my best to remember what Mother Paige had taught me on those Sundays. My sister Aisley and I used to share a room when we were kids, and we'd always pray together every night. We would pray for our family, and I often mentioned hoping to find my lost purple unicorn, which is still missing to this day. My faith at this point was defined as a sense of community and tradition. When I began my time as an acolyte, my journey shifted. I was no longer just going to church just to watch my siblings up at the altar. It was my turn both to serve as an acolyte and discover my own faith. I began paying close attention to the services, somewhat because I was scared of messing up for Woody, but mostly because I felt more connected to the sermons. Over time, I realized that the things that Mother Paige were teaching were more than just Sunday teachings. They were life teachings. My youth group only helped me confirm this understanding of faith. We had discussions about deep questions about God, and Madeline, Joseph, and Gabriel offered so much insight, but still encouraged us to find our own definitions and understandings. The youth group helped me see how my faith can answer my own questions, and that my faith does not need to be the same as everyone else's. I also began to understand that faith can grow through small moments, like conversation with family or taking time to reflect or be grateful. I found that faith is something that is lived out daily. There have been many experiences outside of church that have strengthened my faith as well. As I've progressed through high school, I've experienced loads of stress and disappointment. During those moments, faith became more meaningful to me than ever. For example, next year I'll be attending the University of Washington, and to be completely honest, I had never even considered applying there. I submitted my application 2 days before the deadline because my friend told me they thought I'd like the school. Now I'm fully committed there, and I'm so excited about my future in Seattle. At first, though, I felt lost and alone. Attending University of Washington was one of the last things I expected. But as I did more research, I began to realize that it was actually the perfect school for me. I felt as if I'd been guided to this school, and I felt comfort knowing that I wasn't alone. My faith became less about routine and more about knowing that God is present during both good and bad times. I want to express my extreme gratitude to the community of St. Peter's for guiding me through my faith journey. Thank you for creating such an amazing learning environment for both kids and adults. And thank you to Mother Paige, Madeline, Joseph, Gabriel, Woody, and especially my mom and dad for always offering me encouragement and an example to follow. I also want to give a thanks to the choir for always producing such amazing music that has guided me through my time at church and deepened my faith. Moving forward, I hope to only continue to grow in faith, treat people with kindness, and remember all the teachings that I've learned here at St. Peter's. I will carry these lessons for the rest of my life. So, as we heard in Matthew's Gospel today, even though I won't be around St. Peter's as much, I remember that Jesus is always with me to the end of the age. And I feel like I know the St. Peter's community will be there too. Then, as we heard in the reading, finally, brothers and sisters, farewell, agree with one another, live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you. Thank you.